This is Laura, financial coach Laura with Journey to Generational Wealth. Let me check and make sure that I am live everywhere while we see if people will come in the room. Come on in the room. Let's see, share to. Are we sharing this too? Da, da, da. So, y'all, this is literally my second live. So, this is all brand new to me, but I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. I am out here. Should we do none of those things? Hi! Yay! I finally have someone who's coming to the room. This is, hi! How are you? Hi, Rashonda. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you. Well, this is Laura, and I am the financial coach for Journey to Generational Wealth. I am checking to make sure that I'm live on all my platforms. Starting off, let's see. So I apologize for not looking directly at the camera just yet. Just trying to make sure that, yes, okay, I see red circles. I see, okay, so we are good. So tonight I wanted to talk about what are you teaching your children about money? And I ask this question often, and I certainly ask it to my clients, but really just kind of to anybody that will listen. And the reason I ask you what you're teaching your children about money is because often people are like, not really teaching my kids anything about money. And even if you are not directly teaching them about money, and when I say directly, meaning, sitting down and having financial conversations with them, you're teaching them about money every single day. Everything that you say as it pertains to money is a lesson for your children. The way that they see you spend money, the way that they see you stress over money, all of those are varying aspects of you teaching your children about money. So you're indirectly teaching them, even if you are unaware that you are doing so. I would certainly say nothing. And this is so sad. Oh my goodness, you have to. But that's the whole thing. Even if you, I don't know, think back to when you were a child and your circumstance could literally have been anything. If you saw your parents, stressing over money, or if you ever heard them use the term, we have to rob Peter to pay Paul, or if you heard them say, well, we don't have any more money until next week when I get paid. All of those things that you're saying, like all of those things that you saw as a child, or even that your children now see you doing and or hear you saying, those are lessons that are getting ingrained into your children. You are teaching them your methods of managing your finances. And like I said, it's whether you're intentionally doing it or whether you're not intentionally doing it. And quite often, people are not intentionally doing it. This is a phrase that I hear literally all the time. And it's a very popular phrase, and it's, oh, I'm just hanging out with my broke best friend. And they're talking about their child. Okay, so now you've introduced the concept of broke, meaning lack of money is normally how people are using the term, but now you're putting it on your child. So even the things that you are saying will have a long-term impact on your children. Exactly, I observed what was happening in my home. My mom used to pawn jewelry to get money. Yes. The concept of there's never going to be enough. And unfortunately, or even, like I said, the concept of there's never going to be enough, or if you don't have enough, then just sell the things that are around your house. And if that is the circumstance that you need to do, then, do what you have to do. But properly managing the money that you have so that you don't end up in those circumstances is likely a better lesson to be teaching your children. But you just said it yourself that you saw your mom having to, pawn things to get extra money. And by all means, I am certainly a proponent of, if you have extra things that are laying around the house that you don't use anymore, but are still of great value, by all means, sell them. Like, that is a great way to get extra savings, to, be able to stack up your savings, to be able to invest more, to be able to start investing, to be able to start saving, to be able to pay down debt. So certainly those are great aspects. I know that a lot of times, like in our neighborhood, on a quarterly basis, they do like a neighborhood, what is it called? Like a neighborhood garage sale, and people are selling stuff all the time. So that is not a bad thing to have to do, but the concept of we're not going to have enough to get to the next, whatever. And so therefore we have to sell things. That's a different concept. And that's not one that you want to ingrain in your children, that this is our norm. And so that's why I say, what are you teaching your children about finances? It happens with the way that you speak. It happens the way that you manage your money. One of the recommendations that I would say for everyone is, if you have children, and certainly as your children start to get older, and when I say get older, like I have a 2-year-old now, and she's not at the point where she's asking for things when we get into the store. However, when she does get to that point, then I'm going to start talking to her about the fact that we have to, work so that we can earn money, and that we do various things to be able to earn the money. And then that's how we are actually able to purchase the items that we need and or want. And so when she says, well, I want X, Y, and Z, or I need X, Y, and Z, then I will provide appropriate tasks. Hi, thanks for coming. Appropriate tasks that she can do at the age range that she is, and have her start doing those things so that she can earn the money to be able to do the things that she wants to do, or she can be able to purchase the things that she, wants to purchase, or, wants me to purchase on her behalf. I certainly would say that when you are, as your children are getting kind of older in age, so when they're certainly in their preteens and definitely in their teen years, then break out whatever your money management process is. So your monthly budget, if you do that, if you track it on a spreadsheet, if you track it on an app, if you have no money management process whatsoever, contact me. I can help you with that. Everyone should have a money management process. And by money management, I'm talking about a budget. A lot of people hate the term budget, hence why I use money management, because it helps you to track what's coming in and what's going out, and make sure that more is coming in than is going out, as well as to make sure that you're paying yourself first. Like, that's one of the things that you should definitely be instilling in your children, is the concept that they need to pay themselves first. When your paycheck comes in, the first line of paying yourself first would be contributing to a 401k. If you are at a company that has a 401k, if you are not at a company that has a 401k, you have alternative options. A 401k is a retirement savings plan, for those that are not familiar with the term. And you can open up a Roth IRA, which is an after-tax retirement savings plan, but you can still contribute money to it. Even your children can open up a Roth IRA. It's called a custodial Roth IRA. So you would open it on your child's behalf, and you'd be able to start contributing to their retirement fund, like I said, as a child. These are ways that you're teaching your children how to manage money, and you're teaching them things about money. So like I said, when your paycheck comes in and it's time for you to sit down and pay your bills, whether you're a person who's writing out checks, if people are still writing out checks to pay their bills, or whether or not you're going online, or even if you have all your bills automated, which I highly recommend, because it just makes it smoother and easier and less of a chance that you're going to forget to do it, then have your kids sit down with you so that they can see what the light bill costs, and the fact that you have to pay it on a monthly basis, what the gas bill costs, what the water bill costs. I constantly, as a child, heard my parents say, stop running the water all the time. Like, if you're going to get in the shower, turn the water on when it gets hot, get in the shower. Don't turn it on and then run around the house and start playing with toys and do X, Y, and Z, and then get in the shower. I can tell you now, at the age that I am now, living in my own home, I will run the water for probably 5, 10, 15 minutes before I get into the shower. So I just don't care about the extra water that is going down the drain. I never learned that lesson. My parents will probably be disappointed in me now. Hi, welcome. But these are all these are all ways that you're teaching your children about finances. If they don't see you managing your money, then they're going to think that that's the norm and there is no need to manage money. I never saw my parents pay bills. We, lived in the house, or, there were a couple of months when we didn't have lights, or, I saw that eviction notice go on the door. Like, you're teaching your children about money with each one of those experiences. Now, I certainly will say that there are sometimes unforeseen circumstances. But even when there are unforeseen circumstances, I would say, even in those moments, talk to your children. Let them know that you may fall on hard times. And when you fall on hard times, these are the things that we do. X, Y, and Z to get ourselves out of those hard times, or this is what happened to get us into these hard times. And I'm not saying stress your children out. So I'm certainly not saying that, but I'm also not saying keep everything from them. If you're the only person that's going to teach them about money, they're not going to learn. They're most likely not going to learn about it in schools. I know that some schools are starting to have financial management practicum happening in their school systems, but the majority are still not. And if they are, do you want them to teach your children how to manage finances, or would you rather be the person that is teaching them how to manage their finances? And like I said, whether you think you're teaching them how to manage their finances or not, you are in everything that you do. Tax season is about to come up. And for every person who has a teenager, I don't care if they are 13 to 19. And certainly if you have over 19-year-olds that are staying in the house, my goodness, please, please, please teach your children, like show them your tax process. I have to gather my W-2s. I have to gather the information from the bank. I have to gather the information that came in from my retirement accounts, from my savings accounts, from my cryptocurrency, from my bonds, everything, anything. I have a home business. I need to gather up the information that I have from my home business. I have a salon or a barber shop or a janitorial service, or even the lawn care service. Whatever your business is, have your child go through that process with you. Will they want to? Maybe, maybe not. But this is one of those non-negotiables, because again, this is an opportunity for you to teach them something that if you're not the one that teaches them, they're not going to know. I literally have clients who are early career. They've never paid taxes before. They weren't paying taxes from the jobs that they had in high school, or whatever the case may be. Some of them weren't paying taxes from the jobs that they had in college because they weren't making enough income. Now they are making enough income, and some of them even have been making enough income for, the past however many years, and still haven't paid any taxes because they didn't know that it was a requirement to pay taxes. And the person who's responsible is the parent, not necessarily the child. The concept of, well, nobody told me how to do it and I figured it out. Like, let's get rid of that. That's, let's break that generational curse of nobody told me and I had to figure it out on my own. Like, as we learn more and we know better, we do better. So certainly, like I said, as the tax season is coming, pull out all your documents. Review the documents with your children. Let them know it's a choice that you have to make, but I don't necessarily see what the problem is in letting your children know what you make. You may want to hide that from them. You may feel like it's something that they don't need to know. And if you feel that way, then that's fine. So redact that information or kind of hide what your salary is from them, but at least let them see the documentation. This is what a W-2 document looks like. It says, how much money you made for the year, how much was, you spent on your medical insurance, how much you spent on dental and on vision, how many taxes were taken out, so on and so forth, so that they know what these documents look like and they know how to read them. Because like I said, when they get out of your house they're going to be responsible for filling out these documents or for taking them somewhere to have them complete their tax paperwork for them. But if you haven't even given them any guidance, you don't want them to be in a position wherein 2, 3, 5 years go by wherein they were making enough money to be required by law to pay taxes or to have to submit their tax information, but they never did it because you never instructed them that they never saw you do it. So they were like, well, my mom and daddy didn't pay taxes. So like, obviously that's not a thing. I know somebody who is in their late 30s and who has never paid taxes, and they have lived and worked a great majority of their life. And I was in utter shock and awe because I just don't know how that works. I mean, I asked them, I was like, how does that work? Like, what happens if somebody finds out that you haven't been paying taxes for the last, I'm going to say at least 12 years that you've been working? And they were like, I don't know. And I'm like, but you know that it's a requirement by law, right? And I was like, you know what? Let me dial it back. Those aren't my coins. I'm not responsible for that. But I just felt, like I said, I was in shock and awe, but I also felt like we have to do better. When we know better, we do better. And we certainly have to do better. Yeah. So, like I said, go over your budget with them. When you're saving for something, if you guys are planning a family vacation, start working with them on, thank you. Start working with them on what the budget looks like for that family vacation so that they can see, okay, so we're going on a family vacation and our family vacation is going to cost, X amount for us to be able to go. We're going to need to have, transportation, and we're going to need to do an Airbnb, and we're going to need to have gas and so on and so forth, so that they know how to create a budget. They know that when there are going to be special occasions, when there are going to be extra, potentially out of the ordinary things, that you're going to have to plan for those things. And it's not just oh, you know what? Out of the blue, we want to go on a trip. Let's go on a trip. We get paid on Friday. We're going on Friday because we're getting paid. You still have to pay your rent or your mortgage, your electricity bill, all your normal bills. It's not like, oh, now I have some money. Now I can go out. Which, by the way, this is your reminder that you need to pay your standard bills before you go get your hair done, before you go get your nails done, before you go to the barbershop and get your hair cut, before you go to the club tonight or tomorrow, before you go to happy hour, which I guess now is kind of in the middle of happy hour, a little bit later than it. Like, you're going to need to do all of those. You need to pay your bills before you go spending on discretionary items. If you are part of our No Spend February, then you aren't going to be going to happy hours or doing any of the discretionary spending for this month anyway. But if you're not, then, you might. But make sure you're paying your core bills, the ones that you owe. Make sure you're paying those first. And that includes any debts that you owe. So if you have a credit card or your dreaded student loans, which y'all, I swear to God, I'm in constant prayer that the Lord miraculously forgives like 100% of everyone's student loans. So I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for me, and I'm praying for all of my clients. Like, it is it's not even a joke. Like, this is a serious prayer. Like, seriously, I'm not for hackers, but if one would wipe out the student loan system so that like none of our names ever appear on, like, look like they never appeared on it, I would be okay with it. And I would be like, they were doing God's work. Nothing should happen to them because they were doing God's work. Oh, you're laughing, but I'm so serious. I'm so serious. But yeah, like, make sure you are paying those debts before you go out and do extraneous spending on the other fun things in life that you really enjoy doing. And so back before to what I was saying about make sure that you have a budget and you show your children your budget. That's one of the other things that I would say. Like having a budget, having a good money management plan, like you'll be able to show your children that, yes, we have these financial responsibilities that we have to take care of, but that doesn't mean that we can't do the things that we enjoy as well. Like a budget, a lot of people think that the concept of a budget, it means that, I'm giving all my money away to everybody who I owe money to, and I don't have anything left for myself. That's not a good budget. If that's the way that you're quote unquote budgeting, you're not doing it right. Again, Journey to Generational Wealth. I'm a financial coach. I can help you with your money management plan. I can help make sure that all of your financial obligations are getting taken care of, as well as the fact that we're funneling things towards the direction that you desire for them to be funneled to. Check out my link in the bio, or you can reach me at journeytogenerationalwealth.com. But the complimentary consultation link, it's the third link on my Instagram. And then my website link is on my Facebook page as well as on my YouTube page. And so you would be able to access a free consultation for financial coaching with me. And like I said, I can definitely get you and get your money management plan in order and get you together. But like I said, everything that you do, everything that you reference as it pertains to money, when you're around your children, they're hearing it and it is putting an impression on them. Money doesn't grow on trees. You're walking around in the store. We don't have money for that. We can't buy that. We don't have money for 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 that your child hears, the more and more they hear it, their mental concept is we don't have money. Like it doesn't matter how much you work, you must work to pay bills because there's never money available for you to do fun, extraneous, extra things. Or the flip side of it could be, the concept of bragging about, oh, I only pay $20 for rent, but every month you have your nails done. You have $500 hair. Your kids have the nicest clothes and the nicest shoes. And so their concept is, you spend money on looking like you have money, but in the reality is that you don't have money. Think about that. Is that what you want to be teaching your children? Is that what you want them to take to the next generation, to the concepts of money that you want them to move forward with in their lives? And if that's something that you've always been used to, and so that's your norm, but you don't want to be in that situation anymore, again, we can talk through it. I can help you through the process. The concept of having more bills than money is not a must-have for you. The concept of you'll never have enough is not a standard. That does not have to be your standard. That is a scarcity mindset. And that's a good point. That's a scarcity mindset. A lot of your perspectives about money, how you spend your money, the things that you do with money. Oh my God, this money is burning a hole in my pocket. Ooh, I just got my tax refund. Let me go buy a new TV. You've bought a new TV for the past 5 years. How many new TVs do you need? I don't understand that concept. How many rooms do you have in your house that literally every year, if you really think about it, every year around tax time, Best Buy and Walmart and Target have these huge sales on televisions and they're flying off the shelf like it's Black Friday. And I'm like, are y'all serious? TVs don't die out. They don't go out like that. That you need to get a new one every single year. Let's put that money towards something else. Let's put that money towards making money off the money that you have. If you're getting that refund, our words and our actions towards money. So important. We need to, yes, be mindful of them. Absolutely. Let's make sure that we're making money off of that money. All of these are concepts And especially money mindset, all of these are things that I work with my clients on to make sure that they have the right money mindset. We talk about, what were your childhood experiences? What are those phrases that you constantly heard? What are your financial fears? And how can we overcome those financial fears? Because some of them are real. The concept of, for the child who's like, we constantly had our lights cut off. And my fear is now as an adult is that my lights are going to get cut off. And I remember having that be my, consistent experience as a child. Yes, that's a traumatic experience, and it's a traumatic experience that's related to money, but it does not have to be your consistent experience. And there are ways that we can help you prevent that from happening. And we need to talk about it so that we can put together the structures and strategies to make sure that that is not a circumstance that you have to go through. But we also need to talk about how we can get you to come off of that memory so that you're not constantly in fear that that's something that's going to happen to you. Or maybe it's not fear and you're like, you know what? It just is what it is. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. So I don't stress about it. Like if the lights get cut off, I have candles, I have flashlights. Let's figure out how to mellow that out and make there, some even playing field with our financial fears and, with our money mindset and how they impact how we spend our money. I constantly hear people talking about money burning a hole in their pocket. Like I said, at tax time, people are like, oh, I got to hurry up and I got to spend all this money. Or at Christmas time, or whatever your holiday is kind of in the November, December period of time. People feel that they have to spend all this extra money on their loved ones. The amount of money that you spend does not reflect the love that you have for your family members. And if it does, then there are some questions that need to be asked there as to why they feel that you have to spend an extraneous amount of money to show that you love them. Spend what you have. If you don't have it, don't spend it. And when I say spend what you have, if you tangibly have it in cash, go for it. And it's not cash for something else, go for it. If you don't have it in cash, don't spend it. One of my biggest quotes is no debt for the holidays. Let's not do it. But that's across the board. It's not just at Christmas time. It's no debt for Easter. Valentine's Day is coming up literally next week. Let's not go into debt because, we don't have the $80 to $100 that it's going to cost to buy my girlfriend these roses, but I know she really, really wants these beautiful long stem roses. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on this credit card, but I know that I already have 60 other things on this credit card that I haven't paid off because I keep buying stuff for my girlfriend. These are not financially mindful things. And girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, husband, whatever the case may be, significant other, if they don't identify as male or female, whatever the case may be, as your children see you doing these things, oh, we spend money on this, this, and this, but our lights get cut off. You're teaching your children how to manage finances. Where you put your money is where your priorities lie. Where you put your money is where your priorities lie. So if you're in a situation where you're teaching your children that we have bills, but we don't have to pay our bills, and that's another thing, the concept of the mail comes, it's a bill, you throw it off in the pile and don't open it. So there's a pile of mail over here off to the side that's never been opened, and your kids are like, oh, mommy, daddy, what's that? Oh, those are bills. You've taught them the concept that we don't open our bills. They're not important whether or not we open them. They're not important whether or not we pay them. That doesn't make a difference one way or the other. We don't pay our bills, or we don't pay any attention to our bills. Everything that you're doing with money in front of your children, everything that they see you do, everything that they hear you say about money, you're teaching them, whether you are directly teaching them or you're indirectly teaching them. And like I said, if you are not comfortable with money yourself, if you are comfortable with money, but you just don't know, that's one of my areas of expertise. I have money, I make good money, but I don't know where my money is going. I get it. That is a circumstance. A lot of times for a lot of people, it's a misconception that the more money I make, the less financial problems I have. If you mismanage your money at $30,000, you're going to mismanage your money when you're at $60,000. You're going to mismanage your money when you're making $90,000. You're going to mismanage your money when you're making $120,000. If you don't get a proper money management process and mindset together, the amount of money that you're making isn't going to make a difference. Are you going to have more money? Yes, but you're also going to have more problems. Oh, I can spend X amount if I'm making $30,000 because my bills are only this amount. Well, oh, now you got a substantial raise. You're making $60,000. Oh, well, I got a whole extra $30,000 to spend because I'm making more money now. That's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. And again, this is what your children are seeing, they're going to mimic these same things as they get older, as they start having access to money, so on and so forth. So some key takeaways when you are working with your children, especially as they're getting money, like grandma will give them some money, or birthdays and holidays and so on and so forth come along. Easy tips and things that you can do with your children. Make them save a percentage of their money, at least 10%. Make them save 10%, put it in a piggy bank that you have at home. I would honestly say get a bank account for your children and have them put that 10% into the savings that they have in their bank account. Make them give 10%. I am a Christian. I'm a proponent of tithing. God gives you 90% for you to do whatever you want to do with. Give him his 10%. But if you are not a Christian, give to the homeless people on the street. Give to whatever your child's favorite charity is. If your child was a premature and they were in the NICU unit, give it to the March of Dimes. If your grandma battled breast cancer, give it to, Susan G. Komen or the Breast Cancer Foundation of your choice. Teach them how to give. You don't have to hold on to everything that you have. Giving is a positive experience as well. Invest. I highly, highly recommend that you start teaching your children how to invest at a young age. If you do so, then they will have more money than they could ever imagine when they become your age, because it'll be ingrained in them. Acorn is an app. There are several apps. So Acorn, Robinhood, that allow you literally to buy partial stocks. You don't have to, buy them in full amounts. They can put small amounts in it, so on and so forth. Many, many options for investing. Put 10% towards investing. So 10 to savings, 10 to giving, 10 to investing. And then if you so choose, they can spend the rest. I wouldn't allow them to spend that much of the rest. But what I'm saying is saving, giving, spending, investing, make sure that they're learning those 4 principles. And if you start off with them learning those 4 principles when they're 5, then when they're 10, they'll have them ingrained in them. And when they're 15 and they have that job, they'll be like, okay, Ma, I got my first paycheck. I need to put some in my savings account. I need to put some in my investments account. I need to, give some, and then I can spend whatever the rest is. Ooh, I apologize. And one of the things is, even as your child, when your child does start to work, whatever that age is, like I said earlier, you can start a custodial Roth IRA. So start contributing to their retirement fund, and little amounts over time are going to have huge gains. That's the whole concept of investing, is to do it over the course of a long period of time. The more time you're in the game, the more opportunity that you have to make more money and for your money to grow. And that's what you want. You want little money babies all over the place. So you want your dollars to make coins that grow into dollars, and then you'll have a big, huge money tree. Like, that's the whole concept of, investing in a nutshell, like in an elementary description. So anyhow, thank you so very much for attending my live. I am Laura, financial coach and owner for Journey to Generational Wealth. I help people assist and get their money mindset in order so that they can work on their financial goals. I help them map out a strategic money management plan so that they can achieve the financial goals that they've set for themselves. I would love to work with you. If you don't need my services, please push my information out to someone that you might know that does need them. The third link in my bio says complimentary consultation. I would love to talk to you. It's a 20 to 30-minute consultation. We talk about your financial concerns and goals, and then we move forward from there about how I can actually help you get your money management process together. All right, I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.